Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Am I audible? I believe everything is fine. So, welcome to our webinar that is Dream, Apply, Succeed, your guide to Erasmus Mundus scholarship. And today we have a really wonderful speaker who is Dr. Khadija Sabir. And if I like to explain about her introduction, which she will also go through, she is an alumni of University of Agriculture, Faisalabad, in which probably most of you are studying or have studied from. And apart from being alumni, she is a really humble person, and I found her always helping. She is a former Erasmus Mundus plant health student, and I'm from actually intake 8, and she is from the first intake of Erasmus Mundus. And she was the first Pakistani who got this Erasmus Mundus plant health scholarship. And apart from that, she's also a wonderful researcher as she has some publications in Nature Plants about the genotype environmental interactions in leaves. Probably you can go through it on Google. So the ground is open for you, Dr. Khadija. Please, you can start.
Walaikum Assalam, Ahmed, and hello, hi to everyone, and Assalamu alaikum to whoever managed their time on this beautiful Sunday to join this webinar. And thank you for the introduction, Ahmed. So I would be mainly talking about the Erasmus Mundus scholarship and the whole process of application from my experience and the learning so far. And I really hope that everyone who is joining may get to learn a thing or two that can help in preparing their application for the any program. So, without further ado, we will start. And if you have any questions along the way, please write them down, or even you can also write in the chat. I think, Ahmed, please note them down if there are any questions during the presentation, and then I will try to definitely answer them at the end once the questions session would be open.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'll just briefly mention about my journey to date as an alumnus and from my background. I had a bachelor, I did my bachelor in agriculture with major in plant breeding and genetics in 2014, and then straight down I continued the master in plant breeding and genetics. So in 2015, I heard about Erasmus Mundus scholarship, and to my surprise, there was also one related to the agriculture, which was plant health. So there was no other program that time in the whole Erasmus Mundus association. And this was the very first program related to the agriculture. And so I applied in 2015 and I got in 2016. And during this program, I had my first mobility in the UPV Spain, that is University Politècnica de València, where also Ahmed had his first year. And then during the second year, my mobility was in France. And in the program, I had to attend 3 different universities. So I started in the south of France from the Supagro Montpellier, moving to the west in the Agro Campus West, and then to the north, that is AgroParisTech. And so it was a module system in France, and the studies was also in French, which was not that easy, I must say. Yeah, but after successfully finishing the curriculum, then I moved again to the back to the south of the France in the French National Research Institute of Agriculture in Rai in the south, where I had my internship and the master thesis. So my master thesis work we successfully managed to publish in 2021 in PLOS Computational Biology as a joint first co-author. And after that, I started looking for the PhD positions. And I did not restrict myself to a particular country, but rather to the like to any mainly the research groups and also the topics that interested me the most. And luckily I found a one position at the Leibniz University Hannover, where I initially joined as a scientific project coordinator. It was a wheat project, and later on I continued also my doctoral research in partnership with the Humboldt University Berlin here in Germany. And so I have recently successfully submitted my doctoral thesis and finished finally, after so many years of work, the PhD. And from this work, we managed to have the one successful publication in Nature Plants as me as a first author. And this might can explain that why it took so long. Well, good things take long. And why I'm saying this, because there is like so much energy, time that will also require by your side for the successful application. So I will definitely repeat all these things along the way as we move forward. And now what's next? So I have my PhD, I have the experience. So I will be now joining the multinational breeding company, KWS, as a research lead from next month. And so my reason of sharing this is to give you an idea or a perspective to think that if you belong to a particular discipline, like I was from the plant breeding and genetics, and then moving to the plant health, you might think that, oh, then my field gonna be changed, and I will be now stuck in entomology and pathology that does not interest me. And then how this gonna go forward, you know? So we always have something that interests us the most. And probably if you are in the bachelor, if you have a major in the plant breeding or from the master, and it is okay if you divert a little bit. So some people can go straight down the path. So because now there is also another Erasmus Mundus program in the breeding, so you can definitely go for that. And you can also have this plant health program. And to any of you who is not from the agriculture, so there are, do not restrict yourself to only the one program. That is my main message here. And because joining this any of the program, it will offer you the unique chance to broaden your horizons, experience different cultures, and enrich your academic and personal life in ways that you cannot even imagine. Like you see here from my profile, I have quite a zigzag path. And but I'm really glad that, you know, I went on continuing that. And so far I have all these accomplishments and the skills that I have learned. So for further now, we have heard a lot about all of these different terms: Erasmus, Erasmus Plus, Erasmus Mundus. And any aspiring student, I think the question comes, they can be confusing if you don't know like what exactly it is. And so that's why I will just briefly share what are these different terminologies and how they are related to you. So the Erasmus, the name actually, it comes from the Dutch scholar, the Desiderius Erasmus Rotterdamus. So it's a difficult name. So, but do not worry because you don't have to remember it. And so the program started established in 1987. So that means it's like makes it a longest running student exchange initiative in the world. That is a European Union program. And the aim was to enhance the educational, professional, and the personal growth of the individuals in Europe. Initially, it was mainly focused on the Europe and then extended to worldwide. The main focus of the program initially was the short-term exchange students. That's why you might have heard these like one semester exchange program, also funded by Erasmus. And now it also has an acronym. So the acronym is the European Community Action Scheme for the Mobility of the University Students. You don't have to remember any of it, so do not worry about that. It's just to give you an idea what exactly it is. And now comes the Erasmus Plus. So this program, Erasmus, the funding and the overall the finance it gets from the European Union Commission, and they have made this the funding agenda from where it comes. It's called the Erasmus Plus. So that's why there are the when the scholarships are mentioned, it mentioned like co-funded by Erasmus Plus. So that's where the funding is coming from. And now comes down to the Erasmus Mundus, so that you might have heard the most. So what are these programs? So mainly, initially, it was based in the Europe and also for the European students. But then the European Commission, they thought like, okay, we have to broaden it up to the international students. So that's how the Erasmus Mundus initiative came into the light, because now it's an international initiative that offers the joint master degree programs, and it's a global platform for the higher education and cultural exchange. It also has a high level of integrated study program at the master level. So this is only for the master level students. It's not for the bachelor, and there would also be no PhD offers in this program. And this is now funded by the European Union under this Erasmus Plus scheme. Now the question comes, like, out of so many available programs, why one should go for the Erasmus Mundus master programs? So there are some really unique aspects to this program that set it apart from all the other available master programs. For example, so there is this high level integrated study program of excellence. Why I say that? Because any of the program that is Erasmus Mundus, they are designed and delivered by the international partnership of the higher education institutions from different, I will also maybe, okay. So from different countries worldwide. So that's why any of the program, when you see, it's not just one university. There are some like 3 to 4, even more number of universities that are involved in the program. And any students who get into the program, then they have to attend those multiple universities during the very short period of 2 years. And at the end, you get to study in different countries and also learn from the excellence of their academic content, because all of the universities that are involved in a particular program, they are experts in that very specific particular disciplines. So you can learn from the experts about a very particular thing. So you are not really meant to only stick with one university. So at the end of the successful completion of the program, definitely you get a joint or multiple degrees even. And definitely the another plus is the scholarship. It's like a fully funded program, and you get a quite handsome amount monthly. And also for the travel support and all the participation cost once you receive the scholarship. And so this makes it a very nice package overall, not in terms of the learning and exposure, but also, like the without paying anything. But the Another thing is, if you want to join Erasmus Mundus program, does it have to have a scholarship? And the answer is no, because there are some other funding options available. So, for example, there could be consortium scholarship or some external funding agencies you can also apply for, and or you can even go for as a fully self-funded student. The thing is, if you get a scholarship, that's really great. If not, but you can still, like, interested in the program, and you can partially fund it or self finance this, or fully, then you can also opt for it. So there is no that such limit. But since we're gonna aim really high, and that's why we're gonna really focus on the acquiring the Erasmus Plus fully funded scholarship, and I will mainly discuss about that in the following slides. Okay, so now I want to give you a background, like how far has been the performance of the Pakistani students in acquiring this scholarship so far. So in the graph, what you see is so from the last 2 decades, and in the bar, the numbers that are, which shows the Pakistani students who have received this Erasmus Plus scholarship for multiple programs every year. So what you see here is that from last 1 decade, there is like an exponential growth in acquiring the scholarship, and which is actually really great. And so far we have like more than 1,500 Pakistani students who got in these Erasmus Mundus joint master scholarships. And since last 3 years, Pakistan ranked number one. And so you see, like, this also gives us an idea that there is an extraordinary potential within the youth of Pakistan. And one important thing that I would like to mention here is, like, the students that who acquired these scholarships, they are not confined to any few selected in our universities. So it doesn't matter if, like, if you couldn't get into the NAST, or I don't know, like whatever those high ranked university that we consider in Pakistan, or LAMS or something like that, and you are from the UAF, or like, from the south of Punjab, or it doesn't matter at all. What matters the most is your determination, hard work, and the passion in acquiring this scholarship. So I would say, just believe in yourself and your capabilities, and you are good to go. Another thing that I would like to mention here is, so when I got into the scholarship, so this was the year 2016. In that year, it was only 42 students from all over Pakistan who received the scholarship. And now this will be you, like, somewhere here. So we want to keep that bar high. And I believe in you, so you just have to believe in yourself. And we also need to save our sport of the ranking into the number one. So we need to keep the Pakistan at the top spot, and for that you must have to do the hard work. And I really hope that from this webinar, you will learn the most important things that increase your chances of acquiring the scholarship. Okay, so the very first thing, I think any of the student get lost in one, he or she has to start. This, like, where to start, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. Although now, in the social media age, everything is everywhere, and like, you cannot really get to decide that which one you should follow. So for this program, what is important is that it is not a single program. So although you might be hearing the most from me, the plant health or the plant breeding, because that's relevant to my background, but in the Erasmus Mundus, it's not the only program rather it has 189 total programs, and each program has their own set of rules and regulations. So it's really important for you to screen out those programs that interest you the most, that has the most relevance to your background, and then knowing what are their rules and the regulations in order to apply for that scholarship. So here I have mentioned the link that you can directly leads you to the catalog that is available. And how does it look like? I'll show you here. Yeah. So if you just follow this link, there will be a catalog that will appear, and how you can search. I won't share, like, or maybe I won't be able to answer if you ask me, like, I have a particular field and then what is the program that I should apply. But rather, what you can do is here in the keyword section, you just add any of the keyword, and then you can search, and it will shortlist the number of the programs that might are relevant to your study. It could be anything, I would say. Could be soil, could be food, plant. So you don't need to know the whole program name in order for to extract the information. You just have to search for all of the keywords. It was actually also in 2015 when I applied. So I had this page, and I was like, I cannot find any program that is relevant to my study, because what I was looking for, I was entering breeding because I was most interested in that part. And then there was like zero program. So I'm like, I don't think there is any program. And then I also added agriculture now. And then I was like, okay, wait a minute, I'll just add plant. So anything related to plant would work. And that's how I just added plant, and then the plant health showed up. And then another thing is, which is really important, is how these program and their funding work. So every program, once the program consortium forms, they have to apply for funding to the European Commission. And there is like a specific timeline that they have to follow. And once they secure the funding period that will last is 6-year period. That means in total, from that funding, they can accept 4 batches from the Erasmus Plus with the Erasmus Plus scholarship. So, for example, if a program who has just recently listed in the catalog, because every year there are like new programs being added up and also being removed or not offering the Erasmus Plus scholarship. So if there is a program who recently received the funding and now they're going to start their first batch in 2025, that means from the funding, they can offer. I think maybe the mics are on in some of the students. Yes, can you please mute those mics? There. Oh,
Can you use your mic now? Let me just register. Sorry.
hello.
Yeah.
Am I back? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was a nice break. Okay, so once a program received the funding, and they're going to start their first batch in 2025. From that funding period, the next 3 batches will receive the Erasmus Plus scholarship, and then they have to reapply for the funding. So it is possible that the one program last year, the people got in with a fully funded Erasmus Plus scholarship, but this year there is no Erasmus Plus scholarship. There could be following reasons to it, because the whole program will be reevaluated again. So that could be the reason. And also another reason that the program consortium did not apply timely. So this might can happen, and what's important is do not wait for the following year to apply. So if you are eligible, like if you're in your 7th semester or something of your bachelor program, you can already apply. If you are first year of the master studies, you can apply. Just do not wait. As long as you are eligible, be the first one to apply. Okay, now once we know that where we're gonna find the program and everything, and now the question is, what are the steps that are required for us to apply? These are really simple steps, as you can see. So what we need to do, the very first thing is exploring the catalog and finding that the program that I just showed. Then we need to gather information, and the third one is that we are preparing the application. I will definitely go one by one in detail for the documents review and leading to the application submission. And after the submission, some programs, they do also ask for the interview, and for the others, there would be no interviews, and directly there would be the result outcome. So let's go one by one into each of the step, because although they look simple, but definitely they are not simple. Okay, so once you're gonna select the program, it's really important to not judge the program by its title, because from the title it might not seem relevant, but if you must explore the specifics, so you must go into the website that I must share here. For example, here, once you know the program, and there is a program website here. So you click on the website, this will take you to the program website, and they must have mentioned all the details related to the program. Okay. So you explore the specific and must understand the consortium dynamics, because as I previously mentioned, there are always multiple institutions or the universities that are involved, but each university will just offer a very specific domain into it. So you must know those dynamics and what interests you the most, because then that will help you which mobility you should choose. Okay, this is just one example that shows that the name of the program is Science and the Sustainability, but these programs, they're accepting the students from the geography or region, in science, even in engineering, economics. So why it is, it's not just that they are accepting, but because that the multiple institutes that are involved, they're gonna have all these different aspects in the program. So if you feel that this is relevant to your study, but also to your like the future goals where you wanna like take yourself, then you can definitely look into those specifics and then find out, okay, this program is for me or not for me. And the question comes is like, if you should choose only one program or two programs, like how many? Is there like any application limit to it? And the answer is no. Previously, there were like one student can maximum apply to only 3 programs, but now there is no limit to it. So you can apply to as many programs as you find, considering your relevance. So always go for quality over quantity. If you do not have time for like to dedicate the application process, because all of the documents and everything would be really program specific, and if it's like really journal, you make one motivation letter and you send to 3 programs, it's not going to work. Okay, now we have another one, Nimra. Okay, thank you so much. Please guys, mute your microphone, please. Nimra, please mute out. Yeah, thank you so much. This will save your time. We don't have much time. Okay, so if you do not have time, please identify the one program that has the most relevance. This would increase your chances of getting into the program. Okay, now we know the program, and we need to now start collecting all the information. What information is the most important? Going to that program website and look for all the deadlines. So not only the deadlines considering the date, but also please consider the time zone, because most of the students will opt for like last minute submission. So you must know that which time zone they have mentioned. So it's like 12 o'clock Central European time, and which is not the same as Pakistani time. So please do consider that. And then what is the application process, the procedure, and the required documents for that particular program. And they do have mentioned always the selection procedure, so the weightage of the each part, and if they're gonna be an interview or not. So you must know all these details, and then you can start preparing your application for the to apply. Another question that is always being asked once you apply for the scholarship is if you are a program or a partner country student. So if you are a Pakistani national, you fall into a partner country student, because none of the Erasmus Mundus program is like involved any Pakistani universities. So that's why always you will be a partner country student. But if you are Pakistani national, but you spend more than 12 months in any of the program country, some students do go for like long-term exchange, or even like studying bachelor in another country, then you will be a program country category. And why it's important? Because the selection criteria would be different, in a sense that they do include the diversity and the geographical region while selecting the candidates. So this will have an impact on the selection, and also later on in getting the scholarship. There are like more details that you can definitely find on the link. And then there are the age limitation. So if you are like a bachelor or a master student just studying, definitely you won't have any problem. But then the people who studied like 5 years ago and now they want to go back studying again, so for them it's not a problem. For any of the program, they never mention any age limit to it, so you are definitely good to apply. And another important question is, can you apply with a low CGPA? So none of the program mentioned any CGPA threshold. So it doesn't matter if you are a top student, or like you have a really perfect academic profile, or if you do not have that perfect CGPA score, and so it's not a problem. And I would say that it's also not that this will make your chances of getting the scholarship less, because it's not only the transcripts or your CGPA that will count for in making the whole selection, but also your motivation letter, recommendation letters, and all the other for example, the extracurricular activities you might be involved in, or the online courses that you might have taken. So it's overall the package. That's what they look for. And you would definitely compensate your low CGPA with all these external things. There is, I mentioned here, a YouTube link. It's just a 4 minutes long video where you can see the tips to win the foreign scholarship. This include that what else you can do if you do not have a really high CGPA. Well, if you see like who is this girl, then you might see like some resemblance to me, and which is totally okay, because it is me. Yeah, I made this video around like 6 years ago, but it's still relevant to you, especially to those students who have a little bit low CGPA or who are not studying anymore, but definitely they can take some online courses and then show their motivation to learning again while applying. Okay, so now we have a baseline. What do we need, and how you're gonna prepare the documents? So every document have to be customized to the essence of the program. That's why it's so important that you go into the program specifics, and you must know what is unique to that program, because those are the questions that you're going to answer in your motivation letter, and then later on if there is an interview. So why this program, what is, why this mobility, what interests you the most? So all these things you must know, so that you can customize your documents for that particular program. And for that, definitely you need time. Start early, as soon as possible. Most of the programs have already opened their have already opened their application acceptance. So you can now start, like, digging deep into those programs and their requirements, and then preparing the documents, because writing a motivation letter is time consuming. Making your CV customized for that particular program is gonna consume time, and if you are like doing some job or study, so definitely you need that time. So please start early, as soon as possible. Now what they also ask is 35 days certificates. By certified, do not be confused, this is not like some specific certification. It is just have to be the authorized, not the authorized, sorry, like from the legal authority. So whatever you receive the transcript from the university, you can use it as it is. Also they ask for the of records, and then do not forget that the grading system, once you upload your transcript of records. So sometimes the grading system is also like on the back of your transcript of record, but sometimes for some universities it's not there, and you must have to have a separate page. So please do not forget to attach that grading system, because in every country there is like a different grading system and how they're going to evaluate it. So for them it's really important that they know your grading system, so that they can do the conversion. And another thing is the language proficiency certificate. And the question always being asked is like, is IELTS compulsory or like TOEFL compulsory? The answer is, it is not, as long as it's not being explicitly asked by the program. What they ask is the English proficiency certificate mostly. So you can get that from that university, because in Pakistan we do study all of the bachelor programs in English. But I would say, if you can, please take IELTS, because what I'll just give one example, that if there are two students who have the same, the academic background, same profile, and then they have to choose one of them, but one has an IELTS certificate and the second one does not, they will go for the one who will have the IELTS certificate. So if you can, please go for the IELTS and attach that certification. And also this would you can also apply to the many number of programs, even to those who have asked for the IELTS. So this gives you that freedom. Okay, so now we know these are going to be the documents, and I'll go each document, just give you like some do's and don'ts for any of the document while preparing. So we have the CV. It should be for this program, in order to apply for the Erasmus Mundus, your CV should be the Europass format. Every country has a very specific format to it, and it's important. I have the link here. You can directly go. Sorry. Make your profile, and you can have your CV for the application. While making the CV, what's really important, so if you do not want to follow this format, it's also okay. You can simply make your CV on the PowerPoint or on the Word document file. You just need to know what to include in which sequence you should add the things. And for that, it's really important to consider that there should be a well-structured flow of information. And so since you are going to apply for a master study scholarship, so your academic qualification should be on top, and then followed by your work experiences. This is especially to those who are now working since last couple of years and now want to go back to the study. And then, even if like your latest activity being involved at the workplace, still add the academic information first, then your work experience. And while adding that information, this regardless of academic or your work experience, please add those information in the descending order. So your latest information should be on top, followed by each second one. Then what we had, we just mentioned that whatever your education achievements that you have previously, that should be listed before your experience. And the CV at your stage do not exceed to 2 pages. You can remove all of the non-relevant stuff. So every CV should not have everything that you have done so far. Please, as I mentioned earlier, that this has to be customized to the program. So you need to only add the stuff that is most relevant, and then do not exceed to 2 pages. Imagine at your stage having a CV of 3 or 4 pages. I have reviewed those CVs, and when in the selection committee is like having good 300 400 applicant CVs, and then they have to, they're lost in those 4 pages. So please stick to 2 pages. That's the maximum. Do not go beyond that. Also, very important thing is the grammatical mistakes. Give attention to detail. Every small thing matters, and there should be no such grammatical mistakes. Now there's softwares such as Grammarly. You can just use that and see, if there are any such mistakes, remove them out. It should be very clean and aligned. The font size should be consistent, the color should be consistent. So all of these very small things, although they are small, but they do count. So give attention to detail. And if you have any extracurricular activities or any the extracurricular plus the voluntary activities, if you have done any, please do mention them. And also online courses and those certificates, they are really important in such times, because this really shows that the person is looking for like the advanced knowledge, or what is happening in the world, and is trying. So it's very important if you can show them. And if you do not have, you can still enroll any online relevant course at Coursera or something, and then you can get the certificate before the application. So here I have mentioned, I have a video that how you can get a free certificate. You can apply for the financial aid at the Coursera, and you would be able to attend the whole course and then receive the certificate without paying anything. Okay, so now we are at the motivation letter. This is one of the most important documents, because your application gonna judged by like some humans. So it's gonna be subjective. So they are not like black and white, but there is such a gray area that can really make sure applications stand out or stand down. So it's very important. I think this is the one of the most important document that you should really work on. And what to include in that is the personal motivation. So you need to be authentic and the highlight key experiences. Then it leads to the interest in the program. So when you write, for example, I'm very interested in the program, it's very general sentences. Do not add those sentences. Write the specific examples. Once you explore the program, you will get to see the highlights, or like what they are really offering. For example, in the plant health program, one of their specialty is they do offer the I would say like the field trips. It's like 1 week long into the different production areas. So this is very unique to that program. So no other program gonna offer that. So find those like very specific examples, and then mention those like, I am interested in the program, or I find this program like really inspiring because of this. This gives the person a perspective that why, like, you are interested in it, and not just like getting into the program. And the important part is so connection to the future goal. You have to be really specific while mentioning it, that how this program gonna help you in order to achieve your goals. The professional goals, definitely. So you need to mention there like 5-year plan at least, or a long-term, leading to a long-term plan. So they need to see that this program be helpful, in order to you to provide the baseline that can open many doors or opportunities for you, and how they are relevant to your future goals. So always be very specific, and then definitely differentiating yourself. It is so important that why they should choose you and not the other student. So you need to mention, for example, again, avoid the general statements. Do not say that, like, I am a very intelligent person. I'm a fast learner. So avoid those sentences. But what you can add is giving them the examples that why you consider yourself the fast learner. It doesn't have to be long, like 1 or 2 sentences, but please add those. This will make give the reader a sense of like really, your story, and that will help you to score really good marks from the motivation letter. And then again, the length, it's very important. Do not exceed more than 2 pages. A motivation letter, they don't have all the time of the world, so they have to go through hundreds of applications. Be very specific, and the flow of information should be that once a reader start, it will automatically leads him or her to the your last sentence. And that last sentence, if it is really long, then forget about it, that it will reach to the end. So please, it's very important, 1.5 page or maximum 2 page, that's it. Okay, the what you should not do is repeating the same details of the CV. This, they already have your CV. Now from the motivation letter, what you need to sum up is the reflection of how your actions and past decisions have resulted into your choices, why you did what you did. So what you did, it's already mentioned in your CV. Now in the motivation letter, you have to mention why you did it. So they need to get that sense. Then it will help them to see you, how you are as a person. And again, do not rush, do not copy. It's not a 1 day or like a couple of hours job. And definitely do not copy to the others, from the other students, or like from the online available, or from your peers. Do not copy, I would say, because then it will not be personalized. you see yourself, we all have a different stories, we all have, like our own path that we followed, and it's very unique to you. So avoid all those general statements that anybody can mention in their motivation letter, and just be authentic in a sense that tells your story to the reader. Then again, the use of AI tools, I mean, this is now really, like, where do we stand? So should one use AI or not use at all? So I would say always like keeping a balance. So definitely you can use AI tools, but just to give take an idea, like, or maybe just to improve the flow of information you have already written down, but you don't know, that it's if it's okay or not. So in order to improve that flow, or in order to, like, make some structural changes, you can take that help. Or if you do not have any idea at all, then definitely to get some ideas from the AI, but do not just like copy and paste, because the a reader knows when a person is writing and when a, like some AI tool is writing. It's very monotonous, and it will not be personalized at all. So you must add those details that makes it that it's written by you and it is your story, and it shows your interest. Okay, so as I have, I think you heard many times from me, it's gonna be your story. So engage the reader. It should be a story, and you need to provide the context and depth to your experience. The experience you have already mentioned into the CV. Now you need to give more depth into it, so that it will highlight your personal motivations, your aspirations, and the reasons why you are passionate for that particular program, for that mobility, or it's all those like very specific questions that you're gonna answer, and then it will really your motivation letter stand out. Okay, so I do have another video for the effective motivation letter. It's not a must. I must say it's not a must. If you have time, you can watch and then get some tips, and it might help. If not, then it's also okay. It doesn't matter, as long as you are doing good. So that's matter the most. Okay, now the another important document is the recommendation letter. The recommendation letter, well, it has to be written by your professor, but mostly this is in the Pakistani setup, with the time limitation or like many reasons. They sometimes professors do ask that you can give me a template, and then they can make some changes, review it, and then they can offer you the recommendation letter. So in that case, or in any case, what should be important or included in the recommendation letter, that this should be an honest and a balanced draft. There should be no exaggeration, in a sense that this is a top student, this is the student that I have never met in my life before, those kind of things. And like, even if you don't mention it, but if you are exaggerating the stuff in that sense, the reader will get the idea. So please avoid that. What you need to include are the, so if you're taking the recommendation letter from a professor, it has to be included with the specific examples. That means the course is taken. So what courses that professor have taught you? How was your performance? In which aspects he find your weaknesses, and then how did you improve them? So these are like really important to be specific. Sorry. Okay, well, I think it's Javeria. Okay, guys, please mute your mic so that we can finish it on time. Okay, so now we have the, what should be the length? It should be maximum 1 page. It has to be on the official letterhead page, and then the maximum length is 1 page, including the signature from the professor with the stamp and everything. do not exceed this limit. Again, be specific and do not rush. So if you have to write it, then take your time, mention all these specific details, send it to professor, get a review if he wants to change, she wants to change something or not, and then get it signed. And again, consider the program specific required submission methods. This is very important because every program, sometimes they say that the professor has to submit, and then you only need to mention their details. And for others, you have to you can attach with your application. So it's very important that you look for those details and you follow those submission methods. Then we have the, so from whom should you get recommendation? For example, if you are a student, definitely 2 or 3 recommendation letters would be from professors. But if you are like already working, and then one recommendation letter could be from your supervisor at the workplace. And what it should include is definitely your, how is your work ethic, how are your problem solving skills, and how has he or she seen you using your academic background in your professional contributions. So that's one is enough, and the second one or the third one should always be taken from your previous one of the professors. Again, does the professor rank matter? So to whom, like which professor you should consider. The rank, I would say it does not matter at all. What matters the most is how a professor knows you, what is your relationship with him. That definitely will shows that the courses that you have taken, and that can only then he or she can give that personalized data. So it doesn't matter if it's an associate professor or a full-time professor or a professor with like really good publications or not. And as long as that professor knows you as a student and in the academic context, that matters the most. Okay, now the again, this is very important. So the referee, so who is giving you the recommendation letter, should not recommend more than 2 students for the same scholarship program. So this is I think really important, that in a sense that if only one professor is offering a recommendation letter, then 5 of the students take the recommendation letter from him and then apply to the same program. This is not good at all. You as a student need to consider that. Okay, maybe professors have no idea, but you need to ask them first, have they already provided a recommendation letter for that program to any other student, and be the first one. So not more than 2 students. Okay, another important document that they do ask is a residence certificate. So this, with the residence certificate, they can find your eligibility as a program country or a partner country candidate. And now, what documents that you can add on a residence certificate? This could be your official residence certificate from any local government. For example, union council. So where you have been residing, you can get that letter from and stamp it from the union council, or it could be a letter from your employer or the university. So that shows your actual or the current place of residence. What they want to see is where have you been or still living in the past like 1 year. Or again, another possibility could be adding utility bills if in your name they are. Okay, here I have added one example. If you're like, you have to write a draft of the letter and get it signed and stamped by that official government body or from the university. So you can take a look on it. It's very simple and easy. Okay, now we do have all of these documents ready, and now it comes to the scholarship application form, which again varies from program to program. So you must know what is there in your program. Sometimes there is no separate application to apply for the scholarship once you apply for the program. So they have the combined thing. In the program application, there is a section that asks that do you want to consider you for the scholarship or not. So you just have to check those details. But sometimes there are some separate forms in some programs that you have to apply separately for the scholarship and then separately for the program. So it's very important always view the program instructions thoroughly and then follow them. Again, the experience certificates, so whatever it is, you have worked, your internship or any other that you can provide, please add those certificates while applying. It's very important. Sometimes it can give the leverage. Again, then the additional documents. So your any extracurricular activities, volunteer activities, any of those documents, you can add them, or the supporting documents could be publications or awards. Again, add them like the most important to the least important, the recent to the not so recent. So follow those while combining the certificates. Again, combine them into a single PDF file, and please do check the PDF size. It has to, they always mention there is a specific size, so be limit. And the most, not the most, but like also very important to consider is the name of the file. So always, if it's a scanned copy or any document, always change its name so that the people understand what exactly it is. For example, a CV file, if you just save it, it could be anything. If you get a scanned document from someone, it could be like numbers or anything. It doesn't give any person's idea. If you are attaching like 10 files, they cannot see that which document is which. So if it's a motivation letter, write the name motivation letter, or the CV, or the recommend, or anything. So please do always check your name. The name should be, the names that can understand what's the content in that document. So for example, there was like one of like really my close friend. I reviewed her document 2 or 3 times, and then the one time I did ask like the name should be changed, and it came up like Sardar. So I know you can understand because you can relate to that, but definitely do not add those kind of like really names that the next person cannot understand. So keep it formal. Okay, now once you have everything, it's very important you get your documents reviewed. And now to whom you should contact for the review? Definitely the alumni of the program. You can look for them. You can find the information on the social media, LinkedIn, and use all of those available resources. Find out the alumni, ask them, approach them, and get your documents reviewed. Or you can also definitely go for teachers or the field specific experts, and because it will help you to identify the blind spots or the errors. Because once you start writing or working on a document, sometimes you tend to overlook. This is very natural. So once you get like a third person overview to it, that can help you to find out those blind spots or errors or the flow of information. This just gives you the fresh perspective. It can reduce the inconsistencies and also the areas lacking the clarity. But once you get it reviewed, everybody will review it based on their experiences and learning. But then eventually it is up to you if you're gonna accept those changes or not, because not every piece of advice is necessarily right to you, because it's your story. As I mentioned, it's your story, and like what you have written, how it feels to you, and what perspective you want to give to the reviewer, and that might the other person cannot understand. So it's okay if you get some changes but you feel it's not right, you can always reject them. Okay, now the rules of engagement. If you approach someone, then what you should consider: definitely do your homework first. Do not ask them what is the deadline of this program, what are the requirements of this program, those basic things that you can find the information by yourself. So please do your homework, then be specific in your request. do not go for like, hi, hello, how are you, can you help me? Avoid all of these things. Respect their time, respect your time. Consider that the other person might be in a different time zone, might be caught up in in their professional activities. So just like one long sentence mentioning very specific, this is you, why are you approaching, and this is your request. Be very specific, and then definitely follow up politely if they have accepted to review your document, and then giving you a time frame like, in 1 week I will come back to you. And if they have like forgotten or something, you can definitely politely ask them again. And again, some social media platforms you can check. This is the Erasmus Mundus Association Pakistan, that is on the Facebook, and again the scholarship network. So these are some really nice groups. The people are always there ready to help and to answer your queries. And definitely you can go to the file section, and the people have sometimes also added some of the templates for some documents. Okay, now we are already like at the documents review finished. Now it comes to the application submission. I see that time has already been up. Okay, it won't take long. Okay, so now we are going to submit the application, and when you should submit, yeah, most of the students, you have time and you wait till it's the last day. Or some even students are really brave that they're gonna submit at the last hour before the deadline. I would say do not go for that. Do not be one of them. Anything can go wrong. Your internet might be down, the website could be overloaded or anything. I think once it's not your day, anything or maybe everything can go wrong. So do not wait for that. Apply as soon as you have all the documents ready and everything, and make sure it's not the last day or the last hour of the deadline. And then once you have submitted, then you can wait even or for the results, or if there is like an interview in the program. So if there an interview mentioned, then I just added some tips. During the interview, just be confident. The questions gonna be related to your CV, your motivation letter, your application details, why you did what you did, what's your motivation, why this program. All of these questions, again, be very specific while answering them. Just be honest and authentic. And very important is always ask questions, and not questions how like how much stipend will I get during the if I get the scholarship. That's not a question to ask. Ask very specific questions. Most importantly, once you receive the details about the interview and about the interview panel, you always go and look for those people on the internet and see their profile, what they are doing related to their research, any internship opportunity. So those kind of questions that help them to understand that you are really interested, and also academically you are into that thing. Now we are just waiting for the result and the next steps. So you can be get accepted with scholarship, or with partial scholarship, or without scholarship. So it's up to you. If you wanna um, uh, can self-finance partially or fully, you can definitely choose that. Or it's also possible that you get rejection. And then after the outcome, they do give some time for the appeal. Now, when you should appeal? If you got rejected because of some specific document, for example, from the language requirement that you might have submitted later, or for example, if you while applying, you were at the 7th semester and then you submitted your transcript of record or degree later on, and then you think that they did not consider that, or there might be like some misunderstanding, then you can definitely appeal. But do not go for appeal if your merit has been low and you think that my merit should have been much higher and they have not evaluated well. So do not go appeal for that, because as I mentioned, the whole selection procedure is not gray and white, sorry, black and white. There is a whole gray area to it. So they have considered everything carefully, the whole selection committee, and there is no appeal to that. And then again, you might be placed into the reserve list. It is possible, like you have been placed in the reserve list, and there are always chances that sport might open up there, like, because as I mentioned, a student can apply to like as many programs as possible. So he or she might be interested in another program and he got both in, so he or she will choose the other one, and then you will move from the reserve list to the accepted candidates. Okay, now you get rejected. It is very also possible. And now what's next? The thing is, it's always important to consider that this is not the end of the world. It is just a step in the journey. So every rejection, this will give you a chance to grow and learn. What you need to do is keep your determination strong. Use this setback to fuel your progress toward your future success. So keep following your program communication channels for latest updates, and also keep an eye on any of the new program that might be added next year into the catalog. And always remember that every journey starts with a single step, and if there is a rejection, that is just one step, and you must move on to the next step, and do not be discouraged by the doubts. With that, I would like to finish and thank you for all of you who have been listening to me, and I hope this might have helped you in a way. And definitely the PSPD who invited me for this talk. And if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer. Although I did exceed some time limit, but yeah, this is the most important things that I have included and shared. And good luck to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Khadija, for your time. And I know that it's really difficult for you to come up with this much time and to guide the students. So I would like you all people who have questions, you can write in the chat and I can read them one by one so that I will not disrupt the order and everyone will get the equal chance. So it's better to write maybe in the everyone, not personally to me, but I can start from the ones that have been sent to me personally.
Mhm.
So the first question is from Junia Goyal, and she's asking, I want to ask one question. I'm in seventh semester right now, and I have only results of first six semesters. Should I apply with these six sheets of transcript? I guess she has answered already in the session. Uh, Khatija.
Yes, yes, she can apply. There is no problem. Some program do ask that you must have the whole transcript record, but some they do give this flexibility that you can submit it later. But then you must follow that timeline. And if you think, I think by March or something, if you can submit your like 8 month record, then you can apply now with the transcript that you have, and definitely with the hope certificate from the university that you will successfully can complete, and then later on having the full transcript submission later on.
All right, thank you. Another question is from Ehsan Bilal. He's asking, can we take recommendation letter from PhD scholar? If yes, a co-supervisor? Uh, the question probably you can understand.
Uh-huh. I From the PhD student, no, as long as he does not have an official title in the in your setup, and because what they want to see, it has to be, like it cannot be your friend. This is simply like that. So as a PhD scholar, you might have some really great bonds, and you might have been working with them. It could be in a co-supervision setup, but it's not acceptable. It has to be some official from your department. So assistant, associate professors or professors. Yeah, not any student, even if it's a PhD.
Uh, okay, thank you again. There's a little request to everyone that please write in the question or answer session. You can see it on the leave button. It's right besides the leave button. There is a section of question answers. So I think it will be much easier to ask there and to get the answers. Anyone else has question? Dr.
Okay, so
Lucia?
I can read one. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. Actually, somebody has raised the hand, and I would like to ask. Please, you can use the chat, and I will read for you. Yeah. You can read if you have received something in your inbox.
And can I use the mic?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Rafia.
Okay. First of all, thank you for such an inspiring and insightful presentation, Dr. Khadija. So your journey, academic journey, is truly inspiring, starting from the UF in Pakistan, winning European scholarship and research positions, achieving a publication in Nature, and then progressing to a research lead position at KWS, one of the most reputed company. So many of us dream of such an impactful partner, and your story demonstrates what's possible with dedication and hard work. So first of all, congratulations on such remarkable accomplishments. And my question is, could you please share the biggest academic challenges you encountered when you transitioned from Pakistani education system to studying in France and other European countries? Additionally, how did you prepare yourself beforehand to adopt to this academic environment in Europe? And what advice would you give to Pakistani students considering a similar move? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Rafi, for the question. I think it's an excellent question. And so, what is the my biggest challenges that I faced during this journey? Uh, the one challenge I think that was definitely the self doubt, because I had no idea that how I'm gonna, for example, study in France in French language, because I had no other. Prior to that, I had no fluency or, like, idea about that. So I think that was the most challenging. And then once, if you are in the Europe, then definitely the setup, the academic setup also varies from one country to other. In Spain, the experience is quite different than in France. So, and there would be challenges, in dealing different peoples and seeing different attitudes. So there, but what's kept me really motivated was my sense of, like, openness. So I was always open to anything, any challenge that come up, and I consider that it, that it will just pass by. It's just a part of the story. And for example, this the language one, I started then learning once I was studying in Spain. And I did have the self doubt that I might not be able to successfully complete my second year in a completely foreign language. But you always have to trust yourself, be open to um, any new thing, like, just be curious. I think what really happens is everything would be new, especially if you have no prior exposure, international exposure. So as I did not have, so everything was new. So I had this, oh wow, that's new, oh wow, I have never experienced this, okay, this thing is happening like that way. So just be open, just be curious, and go with the flow. I think there is no biggest hurdle that you cannot overcome. And also, if you are changing the program, consider that in international setup there are interdisciplinary research projects, so you can always go back to where you want to lead. For example, now I started from the plant health and now ended up into a breeding company in a position in that's also in the breeding. So it's just a part of process, and you can lead yourself to wherever you want. Just be open to the challenges, be open to the opportunities, and yeah, that's what I would say. Thank you. Okay, so Zishan said like I should have, or maybe I should speak in the native Urdu, so it's easy to digest the information. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, I would definitely, मैं कोशिश करूंगी कि मैं ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा उर्दू बोलूं, स्पेशली जो है ना जो क्वेश्चन आंसर हो.
ओके, एक क्वेश्चन मुझे रिसीव हुआ है काशिफ अली की तरफ से, और वो पूछ रहे हैं कि अगर आप एक इरास्मस के प्रोग्राम में सिलेक्टेड हों तो क्या आप उसको कंप्लीट करने के बाद किसी और इरास्मस प्रोग्राम में सेलेक्ट हो सकते हैं? क्या कोई रिस्ट्रिक्शन है इसके लिए? पॉसिबल है तो इज इट वाइज टू डू?
इसमें रिस्ट्रिक्शन कोई नहीं है, यू कैन ऑलवेज अप्लाई, बट द थिंग इज कि क्या आपकी सिलेक्शन होगी या नहीं, बिकॉज मेनली जो कमेटी है वो देख रही होती है कि मैक्सिमम जो है ना डाइवर्स कल्चर से और जियोग्राफिकल रीजन से और उनको अपॉर्चुनिटी दी जाए. इट्स बेसिकली एन अपॉर्चुनिटी, यू नो. सो अगर आपके पास ऑलरेडी वो अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल चुकी है तो आपको जस्टिफाई करना पड़ता है कि क्यों आपको वही सिमिलर अपॉर्चुनिटी इन अ डिफरेंट कोर्स चाहिए. तो मेनली अगर आपने सक्सेसफुली एक कंप्लीट कर लिया है तो वो आपको इतना एक्सपीरियंस और स्किल सेट दे देता है कि आपको वो फर्दर नेक्स्ट स्टेप पे लेके जाए. और अगर आप ये सोचते हैं कि वो जो न्यू कोर्स है वो आपका नेक्स्ट स्टेप है, तो सिर्फ आपको जस्टिफाई करना पड़ता है कि वाई आप अब उसकी तरफ जा रहे हैं. और अगर यू आर लकी यू विल गेट इनटू द न्यू प्रोग्राम.
ओके, एक एनोनिमस पार्टिसिपेंट ने क्वेश्चन पूछा है कि व्हाट इफ वन हैव हर बैचलर्स इन 2018 और हैव स्टडी गैप्स विद इन डिग्री?
उसमें कोई डिसएडवांटेज नहीं है. अगर आपका है कुछ गैप है ईयर्स का इन बिटवीन, तो आप जो है ना डेफिनेटली शो करना है कि आपने उस पीरियड में क्या किया है. तो अगर आप सिर्फ घर पे बैठे हैं तो वो डिसएडवांटेज होगा. तो अगर आप उस गैप को जस्टिफाई नहीं कर सकते हैं तो वो आपको बैकफायर कर सकता है. लेकिन अगर आप उस दौरान में आपने कोई काम किया है, किसी भी तरह का कोई प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंस लिया है, कुछ भी किया है, एज लॉन्ग एज आप जो है ना अपने उस गैप को जस्टिफाई कर सकें, देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम.
और एक क्वेश्चन है इरास्मस फॉर पीएचडी क्वेश्चन मार्क.
ओके, मैंने जैसे कि मेंशन किया है कि जो इरास्मस मुंडस के स्कॉलरशिप्स हैं ये सिर्फ प्रोग्राम्स हैं, वो सिर्फ मास्टर लेवल के लिए हैं. पीएचडी के लिए कोई इरास्मस नहीं है. लेकिन इसी के इक्विवेलेंट एक प्रोग्राम है मैरी क्यूरी का. अगर आप इंटरेस्टेड हो, मैंने वैसे कोई लिंक उसका नहीं ऐड किया, तो आप मेरे से कांटेक्ट कर सकते हो. आई कैन आल्सो शेयर, और मे बी यू कैन सर्च. आप इसको डायरेक्टली सर्च भी कर सकते हैं, मैरी क्यूरी पीएचडी स्कॉलरशिप्स. वो वाले जो प्रोग्राम होते हैं वो सिमिलर इसी ही जिस तरह का इरास्मस मुंडस मास्टर प्रोग्राम होता है उसी तरह के ही वो प्रोग्राम्स हैं, जिसमें 2 और 3 यूनिवर्सिटीज़ जो है ना वो पीएचडी प्रोजेक्ट्स के लिए कोलैबोरेट कर रही होती हैं और वो अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ ऑफर करती हैं. वो हैं.
ओके, थैंक यू. एक और क्वेश्चन है, कैन वी हैव एन इरास्मस एज सेकंड मास्टर्स? आई थिंक यू हैव एक्सप्लेन्ड ऑलरेडी. इफ यू स्टिल वांट टू कैन.
आई विल जस्ट ऐड के वो अगर आपको एक न्यू चीज़ ऐड कर सकता है, एट द एंड आपको जस्टिफाई करना है क्यों एक मास्टर से आप दोबारा दूसरे मतलब के प्रोग्राम में मास्टर में ही क्यों जाना चाहते हैं. तो अगर तो वो एक डिफरेंट प्रोग्राम है, एक आप डिफरेंट आपको यू नो स्किल सेट और एक्सपीरियंस देगा, तो आप अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, उसमें कोई मसला नहीं है. और जस्ट शो योर मोटिवेशन in your motivation letter.
Yes. I guess we do not have more questions, so I should also check the question box for the last time so that I can see. I think no, no more questions. Thank you so much for sparing your time for this webinar, and I really appreciate that. Not only me, but also the PSPPG who has organized this very informative webinar.
Hello. Hello.
Can
Hello.
hear. I can
Yeah,
hear.
now.
Yes.
Okay, you got disconnected. Okay. Thank you so much, definitely for the invite and also for letting me have this opportunity. यहाँ पर दो क्वेश्चंस हैं, एक काशिफ अली की तरफ से है, आई थिंक वो अपना हैंड भी रेज कर रहे हैं शायद यही पूछने के लिए. आई कैन रीड आउट काशिफ, एंड इफ यू स्टिल हैव सम क्वेश्चन देन डेफिनेटली यू कैन आल्सो आस्क. वो पूछ रहे हैं कि अगर आपने बिफोर डेडलाइन कोई अपनी एप्लीकेशन सबमिट करवा दी है, लेकिन बाद में कोई इशू या एरर एनी डॉक्यूमेंट में आया है और कोऑर्डिनेटर ने वो एक्सप्लेन किया है कि ये इशू आ सकता है और इसको आप ऐसे रिजॉल्व कर सकते हो, बट जो है ना आपकी तरफ से तो सबमिशन हो चुकी है, तो तब कैंडिडेट क्या करे? तो इट्स पॉसिबल कि इस तरह से चीज़ें हो जाती हैं जो कि वो ड्यूरिंग द प्रोसेस वो भी चेक कर रहे होते हैं, और जब उनको कोई फीडबैक मिलता है प्रोग्राम कोऑर्डिनेटर को, तो वो एक्सप्लेन आउट करते हैं कि अगर ये आपको प्रॉब्लम आ रही है या ये एरर आ रहा है, तो वो आप जो है ना इसको ऐसे रिजॉल्व कर सकते हैं या ऐसे कर सकते हैं. तो अगर आपने ऑलरेडी अपनी एप्लीकेशन जमा करवा दी हुई है, तो बेस्ट वे है कि आप उसी कोऑर्डिनेटर से इन कॉन्टैक्ट रहें और आप उसको एक्सप्लेन करें कि ये मैंने वो करवा दिया हुआ है सारा कुछ. अगर वो करवाते हुए आपको इशू आया है, तो वो आप करवाने से पहले उनसे पूछ के क्लेरिफाई करें, और अगर करवाने के बाद आया है तो तब भी आप उनको एक्सप्लेन करें, और जो भी एडिशनल जो चीज़ें हैं आप उनसे पूछें कि आप वो फर्दर कैसे सबमिट कर सकते हो. और मे बी आप जो है ना एक दफ़ा आई थिंक आई डोंट नो, मे बी सम प्रोग्राम्स ये भी अलाउ करें कि आप जो है ना अपना वो चेंज कर सको बिफोर द डेडलाइन. और अगर नहीं तो आप डायरेक्टली कोऑर्डिनेटर से रब्ता करके कोई एडिशनल डॉक्यूमेंट है या जो भी इस तरह से चीज़ है वो आप उनको क्लेरिफाई कर सकते हैं. इट्स नॉट अ बिग डील. वो हमेशा जो है वो नोट डाउन करते हैं इस चीज़ को कि किसी ने अगर कहा है तो वो आपका काउंट हो जाएगा. डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट.
यस, मैं इसमें एक कमेंट ऐड करना चाहूँगा कि इसीलिए इन द फर्स्ट प्लेस आपको ये कहा जाता है कि आप एप्लीकेशन थोड़ी पहले सबमिट करें. लेट्स से ये जब ये इनिशियल डॉक्यूमेंट चेक करते हैं, उसमें अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम हो और लेट्स सपोज अभी 1 मंथ पड़ा हो, तो आपको ये समटाइम्स दोबारा भी चांस दे देते हैं कि वो आप उसको इम्प्रूव कर लें या हमें बाय ईमेल सेंड कर दें. आई हैव सीन सम केसेस पर्सनली लाइक दिस. लेकिन अगर आपने आखिरी दिन सबमिट की एप्लीकेशन, तो फिर ऑब्वियसली वो आपको रिजेक्शन नहीं देंगे कि आपके डॉक्यूमेंट्स में मसला था, क्योंकि फर्स्ट चेक इनका डॉक्यूमेंट्स वाला ही चेक होता है.
Yeah.
एक और क्वेश्चन चैट में है कि आई कैन सी इट अगेन. इज इट वाइज टू मेंशन ऑलरेडी स्टार्टेड मास्टर इन आवर कंट्री?
अगर आप पहले या दूसरे सेमेस्टर में हैं, आई वुड सजेस्ट कि आप ना मेंशन करें. ये सिर्फ उनको कंफ्यूज करेगा. जो आपकी कंप्लीटेड डिग्री है बस वहाँ तक करें, और उसके बाद जो है अगर एक सेमेस्टर है या सेकंड सेमेस्टर है समथिंग लाइक दैट, तो वो आप जो है ना उसको ऑप्ट आउट कर सकते हैं, और उसकी जगह पर आप जो अगर कोई वॉलंटरी वर्क या कुछ भी और रिसर्च एक्सपीरियंस ले रहे हैं तो आप उसको मेंशन कर दें. ओके, मेरा ख्याल है और क्वेश्चंस नहीं है.
एक और क्वेश्चन किया है, और वो है व्हाट BSc student mention in recommendation letter which give some tips?
आई थिंक मैंने टिप्स ऑलरेडी इंक्लूड किए हैं कि रिकमेंडेशन लेटर में क्या वो ऐड होना चाहिए। अगर आप प्रोफेसर से ले रहे हैं तो उस प्रोफेसर ने आपको कौन से कोर्सेज पढ़ाए हैं, उसने आपकी परफॉर्मेंस को कैसे फील किया है, उसमें से अगर कोई वीकनेस पॉइंट उसको नज़र आए हैं, मे बी मतलब कि फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आपने जो है ना कोई असाइनमेंट सबमिट करवाई है तो वो अगर पहली असाइनमेंट सबमिट करवाई तो वो समझता है कि वो इतनी अच्छी नहीं की थी, कि आपकी जो है ना वो टेक्निकल ग्रास्प इतनी अच्छी नहीं थी, या साइंटिफिक राइट अप स्टाइल इतना वो नहीं था, तो वो आप उस चीज़ को मेंशन करके एंड देन मतलब कि आपने उसको एक सेंटेंस के आपने उसको इम्प्रूव किया, मतलब प्रोफेसर की तरफ से कि उसने उस पे वर्कआउट किया, मेरे से टिप्स ली या मतलब कोई एक्स्ट्रा कोर्सेज लिया या समथिंग लाइक दैट, एंड देन द नेक्स्ट स्टेप में या नेक्स्ट कोर्स में जो है ना उसने वो चीज़ फील आउट नहीं की। दिस शोज़ के जो है ना वो बंदा क्रिटिसिज्म को पॉजिटिवली लेकर उस पे काम करके एक एक्शन प्लान बनाकर और उसको फर्दर इम्प्रूव करता है, और दिस शोज योर एटीट्यूड टुवर्ड्स लर्निंग। तो इस तरह बहुत स्पेसिफिक एग्जांपल्स जो है ना वो आप डालकर और इन चीज़ों को ऐड कर सकते हो, जो कि फिर पर्सनलाइज एक रिकमेंडेशन लेटर बनाएगा।
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. I guess we have some time restrictions and we cannot, unfortunately, move ahead. If somebody
Sure.
has some questions, they can use the PPG platform, PSPPG, or they can also reach out personally. And you are feel free to ask. You can also email us, like any one of us, and I'm pretty sure you can find her on the first search of Google if you try to look for her LinkedIn or something. And thank you once again, ma'am Khadija, for your very precious time and valuable efforts. I'm really inspired by your session, and I also learned actually a lot from your session that maybe I was not, some of the things I was not handling correctly. And thank you once again for this wonderful
Yeah.
opportunity.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I got the opportunity to share my experiences, and I'm really happy that you learned something, that आपने कुछ सीखा। बस थोड़ी सी वो इतनी आदत नहीं है प्रेजेंटेशंस को स्विच फॉर्मेट में करने की, तो उसके लिए सॉरी। अगर कोई नेक्स्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी हुई तो मैं इंशाल्लाह ट्राई करूँगी कि मैं जो है वो बोथ इंग्लिश प्लस उर्दू को रखूँ या सिर्फ उर्दू को रखूँ। बट जो भी वो टिप्स और ट्रिक्स दी हैं मेरे एक्सपीरियंसेस से हैं, और आई रियली होप कि वो आपको हेल्प आउट करें। इसके अलावा आप मुझे लिंक्डइन पे फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं या फिर आप मुझे डायरेक्टली रीच आउट कर सकते हैं। मेरे पास डेफिनेटली अपनी टाइम अवेलेबिलिटी और के हिसाब से और अपने डेफिनेटली बेस्ट ऑफ माय नॉलेज मैं आपको आंसर करने की और गाइड करने की कोशिश करूँगी। सो थैंक यू सो मच, आई हैड अ रियली नाइस टाइम।
Before going, I would like to mention a final comment. It's actually a hadith, और वो उर्दू में होगी, और डेफिनेटली हज़रत आयशा रज़ियल्लाहु ताला अन्हा फरमाती हैं कि रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने फरमाया, आयशा क़यामत के दिन अल्लाह ताला के नज़दीक रुतबे के एतबार से सबसे बुरा शख्स वो होगा जिससे लोग इसकी बदज़बानी से बचने के लिए दूर रहें या इसको छोड़ दें। सही मुस्लिम 6596। इसी के साथ हम अपने सेशन का इख्तिताम करते हैं। थैंक यू वंस अगेन फॉर जॉइनिंग, एंड थैंक यू मिस खदीजा फॉर hosting this wonderful webinar.
थैंक यू, बाय।